So just for warning, this is gonna be like a part 4 post about a guy who was a siren that I dated. Yeah, here we go. I met this amazing guy. He was very charming, very attractive, very handsome. He was highly intelligent as well. We lived in the same town and we constantly kept running into each other. Like no matter where I was, he was right there. I randomly went into a Taco Bell one day with some friends and he just so happened to work there. So because of that, we exchanged numbers and started to get to know each other after that day. Little did I know what I was entering would like blow my mind. It probably would have unalived me if I did not take the boundaries and leave the relationship. We dated for about 6 years off and on. It was a very long, tiresome relationship. I would say I started to notice a lot of weird shit by the second year of our relationship. But I'm the type, if I love you and care for you, we will make this work. We will push forward. You know, I'm not all about like divorcing or breaking up. Like I really want to make things work with someone that I'm with. I really should have like thought things over with this relationship because the guy really took me in for a ringer. I'll give you an example. And some of the parts may be explicit, so just, yeah, deal with it. So there was a day we were both laying in bed. We just, was just laying in bed talking, nothing out of the ordinary. And all of a sudden, I just like saddled on top of him and we got to business. And I was thinking to myself, like, why would I do that? Like, I was literally thinking, why would I do that? Like, we were just here talking about the most random thing. And I didn't even say, like, why did I do that? And out of nowhere, he was like, it worked. And I'm like, what worked? What are you talking about? He was like, yeah, I used a sex spell on you. So casually, like nothing was wrong, just so casual. And in my head, I'm just like, I was so dumbfounded. Like, I didn't have anything to say about that. That's just one of many things that happened. Like, so much happened in a span of 6 years of being with that man. Mind you, I was in college the whole time all of this was happening. Like, we started dating a little bit before I entered college, but when I got into college, that's when a lot of shit was happening. He was very into black magic, heavy into voodoo. That was his thing. There was another incident where we were getting ready for bed. Every time we would go to bed, he would have this particular, it was like a copper bowl. He would always have this bowl by his bed. If I so much as even graced it with my foot, he would jump up and flip out. Now, by this bed, he would either have his hand in it, like he had to touch it, like his hand was in the water. I even saw him like sleeping on the couch, like with his feet touching the water. And I asked him, like, why do you do that? Like, why is that something that you're doing? And he's like, oh, I feel like if I don't touch water when I'm sleeping, I won't be able to sleep, or I feel dry, or he would actually have a rash. There was a night I took the bowl away and he actually had a really bad rash. And I'm just like, that's weird. He did not like to eat seafood. He made a joke one time saying, oh, it feels like I'm eating my family. Like, what? Who makes a joke like that? He didn't like to swim in swimming pools. He said it felt weird, like he didn't like any of that stuff. He somehow always had money. And those who are heavy into Mami Wata know what I'm talking about. They know. He always had money. He could not keep a job. He could not sustain a job. He didn't want to work. Nothing. We both were in college and he dropped out and I continued forward with my education. He was like a complete mess all around. Like towards the ending of our relationship is really when I started to see the breakdown. Like dark magic, if you really don't know what the fuck you're doing with dark magic, you really can mess up yourself. You can mess up your mental. You can mess up everything around you that you're building. And I don't think he quite understood that.
Okay, so yeah, you already see how we starting off with this video. We just gonna get straight into it. This video is also featuring my liver detox pimple. Don't pay attention to it. I did get me a new chair. I'm very, very happy about that because it's gonna help me more with my back. Let's just get straight into it because it's already sounding crazy.
Many women do witchcrafts or love spells to get the men that they want, but a lot of men do it too. And I found that out because somebody who was close to me told me that they did it, and that was the person that I least expected to do something like that. And the reason why he told me, which I found was so weird, why he was even telling me in the first place, was because he wanted to try to prove to me that if he wanted to sleep with me, that he could, like, he could do a spell to make me sleep with him. And I'm like, no, you can't. You cannot make me do nothing that I don't want to do. And if you do anything or try to do anything to me to make me want to sleep with you, that's witchcraft. That's manipulation. So he was showing me a picture of this girl that he was talking to, and was like, you know, she have a boyfriend or whatever. He said, but if I wanted her to sleep with me, I could. And he's like, if I wanted you to sleep with me, I could. And he starts to explain to me how he would go about doing it. He takes out his wallet and he shows me something in his wallet. It's like, I don't know what it was. It looked like some kind of gel paste thing. I don't know what it was. And he told me all he has to do is rub that thing and ask it for what he wants, and it will do it. And he starts talking about how he does candle work. He has candles that he lights, and he would speak into the candles, and the candle flame will get bigger, and some whatever, some weird shit. And he's like, oh, but this is not evil because I use Bible verses. A lot of witches and warlocks, other people who do voodoo, they use the Bible to do evil. So then he's like, he could do something to make me dream of him, or any girl that he wants, to make them dream about him, like to plant himself in the dream, and he can have sex with the person in their dream, and that will make them want to have sex with him in real life. And I'm like, what kind of freaky voodoo ass shit is this? Like, why would you even want to do that? If you meet somebody and the person does not want to sleep with you, why would you go as far as trying to manipulate them spiritually to want to sleep with you? What really like threw me off is the fact that he kept saying, oh, if I wanted to sleep with you, I could do that to you. If I wanted to sleep with you, I could do that to you. For him to say that and constantly keep repeating it, you cannot be trusted. After he tells me this, I'm looking at him weird. He's like, oh, don't look at me like that. I don't want you to think of me in no kind of way. I do think of you in a different type of way now, because I never thought that you would be that kind of person to do that. Because he doesn't look like the type of person to do that, a lot of people wouldn't think that he would do that. After that day, I never spoke to him again. Never spoke to him again, because that just threw me off completely. And I think it was the next day I can't remember if it was a dream or a vision of a black Bible with a snake in it, and God reminded me of him when I saw that. So I don't really know what the significance of that is, but I think that was God's way of telling me that he wasn't using the Bible for good. He think that he is, but he was using the Bible for evil.
Christian men out here. Christian men doing it. A Freemason put a love spell on his girlfriend. Let's just watch it before we even think about anything.
Okay, so I'll be going to help out a lady. She contacted me because it was just a lot that was going on. So she set up a Zoom session. So it was a Zoom deliverance session, and immediately I could just tell that she was going through a lot. I immediately started seeing like witchcraft symbols all around her. So when I started seeing that, that's the indication that someone has placed some type of witchcraft on a person, like some type of curse, some type of spell, something like that. Now, in her case, a guy that she was dealing with, this was her boyfriend, she was dealing with him, and it all actually started from a glass of tea. So she was drinking some tea, and as soon as she finished drinking this tea, she immediately started giving her boyfriend, performing on him. So she said she doesn't know what happened. It's almost like something took over her. She doesn't even know why she did this. And by her doing this, of course, this is what started it. This was opened the door. So to find out, he actually placed something. He put something in her tea, and this made her do this. Now, after drinking the tea and after her doing it, everything just started kind of going haywire. She was feeling different things that was moving around in her body. She noticed that her energy was very low. Started having like a lot of nightmares. Started feeling like depressed with anxiety, just feeling very paranoid to the point like she thought that she was gonna die. Like thinking that she wasn't going to make it. He was putting like tracking devices on her car, cameras in the home, you know, of course, to watch her. She started losing weight. She lost like 40 pounds within a few months. So she was just dropping weight. She noticed that he was traveling to New Orleans a lot, and she said she felt like he was going there and it was attached to witchcraft somehow. So of course, you know, she prayed, and Yeshua started speaking to her through dreams. So she had one dream, and she saw a lady pouring gasoline in his mouth, and as he was swallowing the gasoline, flames were coming out of his eyes. She also started getting visions that he was a Satanist. So I started to see that he was a Freemason, he was a warlock, and he had actually put like a love spell on her. So this is something else that I see a lot. Now with these Freemasons, and of course I've made videos about them before. Now most of them don't even know what they've signed up for, especially the newer ones that are not like very high up in it. But he was like 33rd degree, so he's pretty high up. And he said he told her that he was a shapeshifter, and that he had something in him, or some type of gift that no one could take. So again, he was a warlock, and most of them that know, you know, of course they think that they have these powers and they can do whatever to get whatever they want to get. So she said she was asking him, you know, are you doing something to me? Are you placing something on me, spells or curses or whatever? And she said he would just laugh and say, well, why would I do that? You know, just laugh in a joking manner. So again, Yeshua, the Most High God, continued to show her different things about him. Now, she said, of course, he wears like all of the Freemasons jewelry, and you know, every time she's talking and asking him questions, he's constantly like laughing and saying, no, you know, I'm not doing anything to you, you know, now why would I do that? You know, so just like I said, making jokes about it. So she said she stayed up for like 72 hours. So that's like 3 days that she couldn't get any sleep. And she said when she couldn't get any sleep, she noticed that almost like it was a vision, but she started hearing things through the vision. So she started hearing like a full conversation that her boyfriend was having with someone, and he was saying a lot of demonic things. So after this vision that she had, she said God told her after he leaves the house that she needs to run, she needs to leave. So that's what she did. So once he left, she packed up and she left, and she left out of the house. She moved out of the home. Now, of course, she's feeling like she's not gonna make it. So I did a deliverance session with her, and as soon as we saw each other on Zoom, she immediately started purging. So I hadn't started praying or anything. Things were coming out of her as soon as she jumped on. So once I started to pray, of course, she started to cough, kind of started to vomit up. You know, it looks like a white substance where the demons are being destroyed. So things started coming out of her body pretty rapidly. These things were moving and coming out. She was telling me how she was feeling like a pressure in her head, and also she said that he was replacing her vitamins with different pills. So he was just doing a lot of stuff to her. So, you know, of course I was praying to push all of this stuff out of her. Now she has witchcraft spirits attached to her.
Okay, firstly, I hope that she gets a clearing and a cleansing to get all of that off of her. And I also wanted to say that every man that identifies with some type of thing like Freemasonry or Olokun, or anybody who does any spiritual practice that's outside of Christianity, that does not necessarily mean that everybody is evil or everybody is practicing some type of black or negative form of it. It's negative forms of Christianity that people are using to do all types of crazy stuff. It's a lot of things. There's duality in everything. So I don't want you to judge every single thing that I show you that a person is identifying spiritually towards. This video is not to impose fear onto anybody or any person that you come in contact with that is doing anything that's spiritual. We are not talking about fearing in spirituality. We are just knowing and reading signs that people are missing in their lives that could necessarily help them see new things that they need to see in order for them to evolve. There's a lot of women who don't realize that these men out here are very, very powerful and they can do some things, and y'all be ignoring y'all intuition and those flags that y'all be seeing. And it gets to the point to where your grandmama is coming in your dream trying to show you that your man is doing some real cheating stuff and some scandalous stuff. And as this creator is speaking on Yeshua, that's basically the real name of Jesus. I don't don't identify with Christianity. I love Christ consciousness, but I don't identify with being a Christian. But sometimes when people come to people, just to speak, they need a place where they feel comfortable speaking about the spiritual things that's been happening to them. And sometimes that outlet really allows them to connect more with themselves and be able to release that energy that they need to release. That vulnerability to talk about what you're feeling spiritually and what's been going on allowed her to release that, because she feels in a safe space of somebody who can handle that energy. It doesn't even have to be on the scale of the person being initiated. It can also be just somebody who you just started talking to and they're into spirituality, but they also are not into healing. So that you gotta really pay attention to that, because if somebody into spirituality but they're not into healing, that could cause a lot of problems and traumatic situations in your life as well as his. So that is all I can find today on the love spells that men have put on women. If there's anybody who feels like they are a victim to this, let me know down in the comments and share your story so other women can really identify and try to connect the dots if they need to. I love y'all, and I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Just continue to keep using your discernment and opening your eyes to the more magical way of this world.